Welcome back to A Better Choice Homestead, where on my channel, I focus on food. Growing it, preparing it, and preserving it. On Friday, I do a freeze-dry video. Today is Friday, so welcome to Freeze Dry Friday. I got 20 pounds of whole organic cranberries in my monthly Azure Standard pickup this month, and I am going to get these freeze-dried. I can do 10 pounds per load. I own the original medium-sized Harvest Right freeze dryer. I'm going to be using my silicone mats on here, and this is so easy. I am just going to pour these onto the trays. I can usually get one 5-pound bag across 2 trays. These are pre-frozen. I'm not doing anything else to these. They're just frozen cranberries on a tray. I'm not poking holes in them. These are gonna freeze dry beautifully. I've done this a lot. And I've got the freeze dryer ready to go, so I'll meet you over there. All right, all I need to do is load my trays into the freeze dryer. And again, as long as the food is not touching the top of each of these racks, we are fine. The fuller your trays are, the longer it will take to dry. These are not going to take too long. They're pre-frozen and they're small. Just need to close the door, close the drain valve, and press continue on the machine. This is going to go through its freezing cycle, which again is not going to take too long since these are pre-frozen. Then it's going to go through a sublimate phase where it extracts all of the moisture out of the berries, traps it against the inside drum here in the form of ice. Then it's going to go into a dry phase, and then it's going to go into an extended dry phase. I always have mine set at a 9-hour extended dry, so I will meet you back here when these are done. Here we are 43.5 hours later. Now this is morning time. It's about 7:30 in the morning. This was gonna be done at 2 a.m. and I knew that before I went to bed. So I just threw some extra hours on here and now I'm gonna test to see if they're done. So I've turned off the timer and now I'm just going to release the drain valve, which will release the pressure in the chamber so that I can open the door. There is a good deal of ice in here, so I will defrost this before I start my next load. But first I have to make sure that these are dry. While these may look dry and feel dry, they do have tiny seeds in them, so they could still be holding some moisture. We'll know once we get these in the kitchen and start working with them. The way that I like to store my cranberries, for the most part, is in powder form. So I will powder all of these down and I still have 10 more pounds in the freezer that I have to do. So this is 10 of the 20 pounds. And this will be more than enough for at least a year for me. If I notice that I have that feeling that I might be getting a bladder infection, I will make a cup of cranberry juice. If I feel as though I'm getting sick and I needed a moon booster, I will have a cup of cranberry juice. So I am going to just get these powdered down and we're going to get these put into jars. Cranberries are an amazing food to add to your diet. They are just loaded with antioxidants, the most prominent being vitamin C, which is essential for skin, muscle, and bone health. Also vitamin E, which helps with cell protection, boosting your immune system, skin and eye health, the production of red blood cells, and brain health. Also vitamin K, which helps your liver produce clotting factors. It supports bone health, metabolism, and cardiovascular health. It also contains a good deal of manganese, which supports your antioxidant system as well as your metabolism. And then it also has quercetin, which is it's the most abundant antioxidant, and it's basically found most prominently in cranberries and in the skin of cranberries. And quercetin helps lower blood pressure, lower bad cholesterol or LDL, increase the good cholesterol or HDL. It helps reduce inflammation. It helps reduce allergy symptoms like sneezing. It increases your overall brain health. And then, of course, we know that it also helps fight bladder infections, symptoms of arthritis, and even diabetes. So cranberries are amazing to have on hand. Now, this is not quite as loose and powdery as I want, which tells me that there's still some moisture in here. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but then I'm gonna put this back on the trays, and when the freeze dryer has finished defrosting, I'm just gonna do a quick cycle on them again, make sure they're absolutely dry. All right, here's my 4 trays that have been powdered down, but again, they're clumpy, which means they're still wet. And that is because fruit, like cranberries, have seeds in them, and seeds hold moisture. More than you would think. And that's okay. Because I know that these are not fully dry, I'm just going to run them back through. I would rather spend 24 hours getting these thoroughly dry than putting them away in storage and ending up with a problem later on. So let's go ahead and get these back into the freeze dryer. Okay, the freeze dryer has defrosted. So I am ready to load the not quite done cranberries powdered down back into the freeze dryer. There is not much moisture left in these at all, but there was still enough that they need to be redone. So this shouldn't take too long. It's going to close the drain valve. And here we go again. I'll be back when these are done. All right, we're back about 24 hours later. I'm going to go ahead and release the pressure valve. But let's take a look and see what this feels like after 24 hours, an additional 24 hours. And that feels completely dry and crumbly. I think we're good to go. I'll meet you back in the kitchen. All right, let's get these packaged up. I'm just gonna put them in a 1-gallon glass jar. I've got my extra large freeze drying funnel here that I got from freezedryingsupplies.com. And I am just gonna slide the contents off into the jar. It's very, very dry, very, very crumbly. And I also have a bench scraper that I can use to kind of help all the food down. Almost a full gallon of powdered down cranberries, whole organic cranberries. I'm gonna go ahead and put a 300cc oxygen absorber in here, which is sufficient for a 1 gallon environment, and seal that up. And this is gonna go up into my longer term pantry. I still have some here that I've been using in my kitchen. And now I can show you how I use this as a beverage, but I have also used this in cooking, in baking. I used it to make pink bunny sourdough pancakes this Easter. You can use it in muffins, you can use it in cakes. And again, it is just an antioxidant boost and also very, very delicious. If you buy cranberry juice at the store, cranberry juice only has to have 25% cranberries in it to be called cranberry juice. Some of it is 100%, but it may or may not be organic, and it may or may not have sugar or sugar substitutes added, like high fructose corn syrup. So I know that if I am making a cranberry beverage or cooking with this or baking with this, I know that it is just cranberries and all of the delicious and nutritious parts of the cranberry in full form, so skin and all. Let's make this into a refreshing beverage. I've got just a glass of filtered water here. I do have an oxygen absorber in here, but at this point it's dead because I've been in and out of the jar. So I'll go ahead and take that out. And then I'm just gonna add a teaspoon, you know, not a measured teaspoon, but just a small spoon, and just add the powder in. And then I'm just gonna mix that around. It's going to rehydrate in just a minute. And cranberry juice, as I'm sure you probably know, is quite tart if you don't add any sweeteners. Now, I don't mind just cranberry juice, but if I did want it a little bit sweet, I would just put a tiny squirt of, this is Splenda, in there. Cheers. Oh, that is so, so good. I am not kidding you, and this is health in a glass, health in a jar. So if you have a freeze dryer, try your hand at freeze drying some organic whole cranberries. Just powder them down. That was 10 pounds of cranberries. I got almost a full gallon. I have 10 more pounds in the freezer, and this will last me at least a year. Thank you so much for joining me here at A Better Choice Homestead. My name is Kelly, and I hope you come back and visit again soon.